Hey everybody, today I'm going to be talking about insomnia, hypersomnia, and chronic illness, and basically how sleep problems are related to chronic illness, as well as solutions for this chronic illness problem that a lot of people are dealing with. This is a topic that probably affects a lot of people. At one point or another, you may have had issues with insomnia or what we call hypersomnia, and I'll explain that in just a minute. It's a very common problem for many people, and especially as it relates to chronic illness, this is something that is one of the more debilitating symptoms as it relates to those with chronic illness. So things the things that cause this insomnia are many things. So you've got problems with stress. You have not managing stress well. You have issues with anxiety that might be related to previous traumas or social issues with people. It might be anxiety over a test that you're having to take or an interview that you have the next day. So you have some temporary insomnia, but you can also have chronic insomnia that can really cause a debilitating problem for you. Some of the things that actually cause this chronic insomnia problem are things like Lyme and post-Lyme, or what we call chronic Lyme, and the co-infections, the problems that wrap around that, especially neuroborreliosis as it relates to Lyme and the Borrelia burgdorferi bacteria. And those that are suffering from this problem, often as they get treated, they'll see that the insomnia improves. Now, others, there are other factors at bay, and we've got to figure that out, but you really want to get to the root cause of this insomnia if this is something you've been suffering with for some time. So mold illness is another one, and toxins are another one that can actually create some of this problem, especially if we are being exposed to mold on a regular basis in our house or mycotoxins. These can get within the brain and cause distress within the amygdala and those areas of the brain that are related to sleep, whether it be the pituitary hypothalamus. And if you don't address that, then you are going to still struggle to be able to get to sleep. Some other causes might be nutritional issues, whether it be anemia or potentially B vitamin deficiencies or magnesium deficiencies. Chronic gut problems can cause an issue, especially if you're not able to make the serotonin. If you are on certain medications, these medications often will blunt the effect of melatonin as well. So I want to address some of these issues and also give you some solutions for that. Hopefully wrap this up within a few minutes to 10 minutes or so. But so here are 5 solutions for insomnia. And I'm going to give you a couple of bonuses as well. The first is going to be CBT, or cognitive behavioral therapy. This is known as talk therapy. This is a situation where you're working with a counselor and talking through some of the previous problems that you've had, or some stressors that you're having, or triggers that you're having, or previous traumas. Working with a trusted counselor will help you deal with some of these problems that you're having. And there are other avenues that you can take as well. There is what's called EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, where you do tapping and neurofeedback. Again, depending on the situation, it may take more intensive work with a counselor, but like EMDR or the Gupta program or DNRS to deal with some of those traumas. But a milder issue, you might deal with something like EFT, where you're doing some tapping, and as you tap on either your chest or your head or your hand there, you might use a phrase something like this: even though I'm feeling stressed by the situation, allow myself to take it one step at a time. Or even though I'm feeling anxious over this situation, allow myself to move towards wholeness. When I find that I do this several times in a row, I will find my brain starts to relax, my heart starts to relax, and I'm able to get into kind of a deeper sleep. So sometimes there are other things like binaural beats that can help. These are sounds that you're listening to. You can find these on YouTube. You can also find them on a Brainwaves app that I like to use. that you can use different sleep settings that have different brain waves that are trying to really help your brain get into that that wave of the deep delta waves that you need to get to in order to be able to get to that deep sleep. So look at YouTube, look at the Brainwaves app, and use those for a small cost. You can use some of those and really help yourself get into a better sleep. You want to look also at things like BrainTap. This is a great resource to help retrain the brain, again, away from some of the traumas that you've had, and also back to more better firing patterns, so that you can actually get back into a good sleep cycle. So those are some techniques to look at as it deals with emotional stress and past traumas. Another area that you need to look at is sleep hygiene. You want to make sure that your room is dark, the sounds are shut down. You also want to not be exposed to light too late in the day. At least an hour before bed, you want to shut off all electronics, and you also even want to dim some of the lights. Our brain is having trouble distinguishing between day and night when we have these bright lights. Now, I know they've got dark mode and they've got different blue light blockers that are available, but you still need to get in a good habit to just shut off all electronics and all stimulation really an hour before bed. You also want to look at stimulants like caffeine. You don't want to be drinking a lot of caffeine after 12 o'clock. It takes 8 to 10 hours to process this through, and you want to make sure that you're shutting that down early in the day so that it's not keeping you awake. Some people can have it a little bit later, but it does affect your sleep structure, and your sleep structure is getting into those rhythms so that you can wake up refreshed and feel like you've got like you slept. So looking at that, you want to look at things like alcohol as well. Alcohol is going to affect your sleep. If you have more than one drink, most likely you're going to have difficulty because it's a toxin your body has to get rid of. And if you're not detoxing very well, your body has to process that out. Your body wants to shut down other processes so that it can work on repair and rebuilding and all the things that it needs to do. So definitely look at alcohol. Also look at any other eating late or working out late. When I eat late, your body ends up having to process that food, and that's more work that it's having to do. So try to not eat after at least 4 hours. You want to have your sleep schedule set up to where you eat in about 4 hours before going to bed. And then ideally you don't want to work out too soon before bed either, because that will overstimulate you. I find that happens a lot of times when I am working out late. I will end up having more stimulation, and it's harder for me to get to a relaxed state. The other and third thing you need to look at are toxins and microbes. We touched on this a little bit, but mold and Lyme will create toxins. They will create inflammation in the brain and inflammation in the gut, which then can affect your neurotransmitters and then affect your ability to move into that deeper state of sleep. It can affect glutamate. It can also affect melatonin. So your body has to convert serotonin into melatonin, and it has to convert glutamate into GABA. And if it's not doing that, you're going to have a hard time getting to kind of a sleepy state and also staying asleep. So looking at that is important. You need to find somebody that can help you with detoxing some of these toxins out of your body, and also getting rid of the Lyme and the mold and viruses as well. Addressing gut issues is a fourth thing. Our body makes many of our neurotransmitters in our gut, and it's made by certain microbiota. And so we need to have a healthy balance of our microbiota. If we have inflammation, leaky gut, or dysbiosis, this can create an inability to absorb nutrients. It can create inflammation. It can also blunt the amount of neurotransmitters, neuromodulators that we're making, and can affect your overall sleep. So looking at the gut, if you've got gut issues, that could be affecting your sleep. You want to fix that first so that you can get better sleep. But also you need to look at nutritional things, nutritional deficiencies. Sometimes magnesium, many of us are deficient in magnesium, and many of us are also deficient in B vitamins because of all the stress. So getting those in your system early in the day will be helpful. I take a bioactive B6 called pyridoxal 5-phosphate. I take that before bed. I also take ashwagandha before bed. This helps me to blunt some of the stress responses from the day, and it also helps me get into that deeper sleep structure. So I take magnesium, P5P, and ashwagandha, and that definitely helps with my sleep. Sometimes you can take GABA, and that will help you to get to that sleepy state. We'll talk about some supplements to take here in just a minute, but definitely look at those things as a possible solution. Looking at some of these nutrients and herbs that can help you with sleep. Chamomile or apigen can help. This can be in the form of a pill or also a tea, and you can take that before bed. That will be helpful. I usually like to drink that about an hour before bed. That way you can take that, go to the bathroom one time before going to bed, and you don't have to worry about that. But also things like theanine is a supplement that you can take. You take somewhere between 100 to 400 milligrams of that. GABA, you can take about 100 milligrams a day of that. That will help you with your sleep. And then magnesium threonate is the type that actually helps to cross the blood-brain barrier, and it'll help you with getting to that sleepy state and getting to kind of a deeper sleep and being more comfortable. So I would look at those. I would look at glycine as well, and then look at valerian root as well. That's another herb that you can do either in the tea or in a pill form that will help you with getting to sleep. So getting your methylation going right is important as well. Looking at your B vitamins, looking at magnesium, looking at copper. These are all things that are cofactors and coenzymes that are needed to make things work properly, like converting serotonin to melatonin and converting GABA or glutamate to GABA. The fifth thing you need to do is look at stress management. And this is something you actually work on throughout the day that will help you at night. But we've touched on a little bit of this already with the CBT and the neurofeedback. But the other things you can work on besides ashwagandha, you can look at phosphatidylserine. This is a supplement that you can take. If you take that, I would like you to take that during the day and make sure that you're doing it around 12 o'clock, not before, because that will blunt some of the effects of cortisol. You want cortisol to rise, but and that's what makes you alert in the morning, but you don't want to blunt that too much. Another thing you want to look at is exercise and meditation. The exercise doesn't have to be aggressive. It can be walking or swimming or biking, but you want to do this on a consistent basis. Try to get it done early in the day. And then you want to do some meditation. It doesn't have to always be just where you're sitting still. Even just doing 5 minutes a day of meditation will be helpful. And you can do, like Dr. Huberman says, exteroceptive or interoceptive types of meditation. You can kind of combine these. So exteroception is going to be where you're focusing on an object outside of your body, far away from you, and you're focused on that. You're breathing, where interoception is more the kind of closed eyes, focusing on behind the forehead and then on your breathing. But again, just doing for about 5 minutes a day, every day will really be helpful. And then exercise, like I said, slow walks you could kind of combine the whole thing, the binaural beats, where you're listening with the brain waves, and you're also focusing on meditation. So those are some good things for you. Couple of different things. You need to look at temperature. You want to try to lower your temperature as you're trying to get to sleep, and then raise the temperature towards the later in the morning so that you can get warm up and wake up more refreshed. There's a whole bunch of things here. There's actually a bed cover called from Sleep 8 that actually is programmable that you can do. And by using this, you can actually set this to where you can get to a deeper sleep and then wake up it'll start to rise 1 to 3 degrees as you get close to the wake up time. You want to look at hormone imbalance as well. If you're having estrogen problems, testosterone problems, cortisol problems, work at managing that, and that will help with your sleep as well. Because sometimes that cortisol can get flipped. It's supposed to rise starting at 8 in the morning and peak at 12, and then it'll start to go back down till about 8 o'clock at night. Some people have more cortisol at night and less in the morning, so you need to address what is causing that and finding some help to solve that. Dutch test allows you to look at some of that as well. And then you want to look at light exposure so you get on that circadian rhythm, getting out in the morning, like Dr. Human says, exposing yourself to that morning light for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. If it's overcast, you want to do a little bit longer. And then in the middle of the day, also that helps with testosterone, estrogen, and cortisol as well. Getting that out there for 5 to 10 minutes. And then towards the end of the day, where you have the dusk, that as the sun is setting, it also kind of tells you where you're at in time. So hopefully these are helpful for you. I'll be posting other videos. Stay tuned, and I've got other information on Instagram and TikTok and things like that. So check us out, and check us out on our website. We've got a newsletter you can sign up for at functionalhealthtn.com. Hope this helps. Have a great day.